Fatman is a movie that gives us Santa Claus as John Wick. Sort of. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today I'm diving into Fatman, a movie that actually hits theaters November 17th. I was blessed with an early screener link for review, and hey, it's about that time, isn't it? You know, we got Santa Claus, we got cookies, eggnog, and Santa Claus fighting off hitmen. That's interesting. But if you haven't heard of this movie, guys, it stars Mel Gibson, Walton Goggins, and Marianne Jean-Baptiste. It's directed by Eshom and Nelms, and it's about a boy named Billy who hires a hitman to kill Santa Claus after being given coal for Christmas. Little did Billy know that this hitman also has a grudge with Santa and is willing to end Christmas once and for all. You know, I might have just made the movie sound a little bit better than it really is. Now, before I get into what worked with this film and, well, what really didn't work with this movie, if it's your first time here at the channel, guys, welcome to Real James, where I review movies early just like this. So if you want to be a part of the real community and stay up to date with anything new that I drop, hit the big red button below and tap on that bell. And if you haven't already, guys, smash the like button and get loud in the comments and let me know, are you checking this movie out in theaters if it's safe, or are you just gonna skip this altogether? I'll tell you whether or not it's worth your time. Trust me. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Fatman, a movie that... it's just weird. Mel Gibson plays Santa Claus and Walton Goggins plays Skinny Man, a hitman, and Marianne Jean-Baptiste plays Mrs. Kringle. It's a very interesting take on Christmas. Interesting being a word that I use very loosely here because it is very much unorthodox. It's not traditional in any sense of the word, and guys, if you were expecting a feel-good movie, this is not it. Now, if you were expecting Santa Claus to be hitting a punching bag, disgruntled, and toting around handguns, this movie might be for you, but if you were looking for something a little bit more jolly, this might not be your cup of eggnog. Now, the reason I enjoyed the movie even a little bit was because of Walton Goggins and Marianne Jean-Baptiste. It's so good to see both of them on screen. Walton Goggins is a favorite of mine. He's currently one of my favorite actors working in Hollywood today. I've loved him since Justified, and I think he's proven by this point that he can take on either serious roles or fun roles and just be commanding on screen. He's just awesome. He's got a great on-screen presence. As for Marianne Jean-Baptiste, her playing Mrs. Kringle is good. I mean, she does as best she can with the script that she's given, but at least seeing them both in this movie made it bearable sometimes. And another thing that I liked about this movie, at least it felt like it was shot on location. I went on IMDb and it looks like they did some filming in Canada, so at least they didn't use too much CGI, and there was snow, so that was Christmassy. But other than that, guys, I'm sorry to say, Fatman is not a good movie. Fatman really feels like an idea that someone probably scribbled down on a random weekend and it was brought to life with this movie. But boy, was it not really fleshed out. I mean, none of these ideas really felt concrete. I also didn't find anything fun about this movie. After seeing the first trailer, I figured, okay, I'm gonna have to go into this movie with an open mind, not take it seriously, which I didn't, but even then, it just wasn't worthwhile. I mean, that of course is attributed to a multitude of things. It could be the writing, it could be the dialogue, geez, I can go on, but let's start with the acting. Unfortunately, outside of Walton Goggins and Marianne Jean-Baptiste, the acting here is just awful. Nobody is really convinced with any dialogue that they're given. Even Mel Gibson's performance is just similar to someone rolling out of bed and hopping onto set. It's really uninspired, and for as much dramatic appeal that he tries to bring to this movie, it never felt very natural, and it almost felt out of place in a movie that really should have just been no holds barred, who cares, we're just gonna go out and have some fun. Unfortunately, this movie tries to add that dramatic appeal, and it doesn't really click with the rest of the film. Now, when it comes to Billy, the spoiled child, he's played by Chance Hurtsfield, who is really just another prototypical brat who doesn't get his way. There's nothing that really separates his character here from characters that we've gotten in movies and TV shows that don't get their way. They throw a fit, they're pounding their fist on the ground, and they just really want to take revenge on someone who they believe has wronged them. So, I don't know, again, it just feels kind of generic. The story is also really just too busy. We get 3 characters to follow in the first act. We get Billy, Santa Claus, and Walton Goggins' character, and I don't necessarily think that they all float together. And then we're not done, guys. We get introduced to the US military taking over Santa's workshop in order to build weapons of destruction. Oh, and guess what? We're not done. Then the movie tries to fit in the hitman's grudge against Santa. And guess what, guys? We're still not done. The film also tries to give us a very realistic depiction of Santa, who is unfortunately troubled and a drunk. So that all together just combines for a busy movie. It's just too much. It's not necessarily consistent with the tone in the first act, the second act, and the third act. We just really don't get anything other than a big ol' mess. It also feels like this movie doesn't care too much about the storylines that it presents. Everything is kind of half-hearted, so it just wants to rush to just the gun sequences because it feels like maybe, just maybe, it can hold your attention there. Speaking of half-hearted, man, the humor here was just really lazy. I'm sorry. A lot of it was low-hanging fruit. Even then, I felt like none of it worked. I didn't really chuckle too much. There was maybe one scene that got a slight smirk from me, and that's not me trying to sound pretentious. It's just this movie's not funny, and the humor is not very well written. And then on top of all that, the editing here is incredibly messy. The cuts between scenes were just really jarring, and unfortunately none of the settings were established well. I just felt like we were going from one scene to another, and the film was just kind of rushing through everything to get to that final showdown. And if that's the case, man, why was this movie an hour and a half? It could have just been shorter. Overall, you guys, Fatman really tries to be a different kind of Christmas movie. There are more mature elements at play here with guns, gore, swearing, kids being on their worst behavior. It's something that we haven't gotten in a traditional Christmas movie, but it's just not well executed here. It attempts to be edgy and it really just fails. It tries to be funny and it also fails. It even gives us a John Wick type of ending and, well, you guessed it. It fails. Nothing about Fatman is remotely close to being mindless fun because at least with mindless fun, I can still find enjoyment and not feel my time was wasted. Walton Goggins and Marianne Jean-Baptiste are the two I feel the worst for because they deserve much better, and when it comes to Mel Gibson, I just think he's out of his prime in front of the camera. So yeah, Fatman is a movie that you can skip this holiday season. Alrighty, you guys, well, there you have it. That's my real review of Fatman, a movie, again, that hits theaters November 17th. When you do see it, guys, or if you see it, let me know in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me? If you haven't already, smash that like button and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 3,000 subscribers. We're so close. And tap on that bell so you don't miss out on any more reviews this week. I am going to watch Sound of Metal. I got 2 Legend of Korra reactions coming and The Mandalorian on Friday. Man, it's going to be a jam-packed week. I can't wait to deliver all that content for you guys. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to go watch a holiday movie that might put a smile on my face. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.